I'm Lorne Green, and if there's one thing I really believe in...
Ever since we were together on Bonanza, he's been like a real son to me.
After just 16 episodes of Bonanza, Lorne Green was ready to walk away. The show ranked number 45 and was falling fast. He told producers that Ben Cartwright was too cold and too fake, and unless they rewrote the character, he was done. They listened, and 2 years later, Bonanza shot up to number 2 on television. But that was only the beginning of Green's battle, behind the calm, fatherly image on screen was a man who fought constantly for authenticity, clashing with his co-stars Pernell Roberts and Michael Landon, arguing about scripts, direction, and the soul of the show. His story was never as peaceful as the Ponderosa looked, because the truth of Lorne Green was forged in fire, poverty, and sheer determination long before he ever stepped in front of a camera. Born Lion Hyman Green on February 12, 1915 in Ottawa, during one of the coldest winters in Canadian history. His childhood was shaped by struggle. His father Daniel had fled Russia after anti-Jewish attacks and worked in a tiny shoe shop, earning barely enough to feed 6 people packed into a 2-room apartment. Lion slept on a bed made from flour sacks stuffed with newspapers, and when he was just 3 years old, the Spanish flu nearly killed him. His grandmother's home remedies saved his life, and from that moment, he seemed destined to survive anything. His mother Dora believed knowledge would save him from poverty, teaching him to read from torn newspapers she brought home after long shifts in a factory. Life was harsh, but it made him tough, a quality that would later define his on-screen presence. At just 7 years old, Lion's father's cobbler shop caught fire, destroying everything the family owned and forcing them into a charity basement with 12 other families. The fear of fire and failure haunted him for life, driving his obsession with security and multiple income sources. By 13, he was already showing signs of rebellion and wit. When cast as a background tree in a school play, he ignored the script and delivered a 5-minute satire mocking Ottawa's corrupt mayor. It got him suspended but earned the attention of his drama teacher, who told him he had real talent. From that moment, he knew the stage gave him power, but it also taught him that speaking too boldly could be dangerous. As the Great Depression hit in 1931, he scavenged junkyards for wires to build his own radio, teaching himself broadcasting by reading headlines into a homemade microphone. His parents disapproved, but he couldn't stop. He was addicted to the sound of his own voice. After high school, he turned down a stable bank job to study acting, paying tuition by pawning his father's gold watch, a decision that caused years of silence between them. He took the name Lorne after Scotland's River Lorne and dedicated himself to performance. In 1939, he joined CBC Radio and soon became known as the Voice of Canada. But when World War II began, that voice delivered daily death reports, earning him a darker nickname, the Voice of Doom. His deep tone became synonymous with tragedy, and even he admitted later that reading the names of fallen soldiers gave him nightmares. Eventually, he left CBC to serve in the Royal Canadian Air Force and narrate war documentaries, one of which, Churchill's Island, won an Academy Award after the war. Lorne opened the Academy of Radio Arts, training future stars like Leslie Nielsen. Though the school went bankrupt, it proved that his greatest strength was shaping stories, not managing money. When he moved to Hollywood in 1952, he was nearly broke, but he carried with him the same voice that had moved a nation. And soon, that voice would find its place in the heart of American television. Hollywood wasn't easy. He was typecast as villains because of his serious face and commanding voice, but he refused to be boxed in. He walked off projects that compromised his integrity and lost thousands, turning down roles he didn't believe in. By 1959, at age 44, he was offered a choice in a new Western called Bonanza, either play the father or the oldest son. He chose the father, a move that changed his life forever. As Ben Cartwright, he brought warmth, wisdom, and moral strength to the role, but only after forcing the writers to humanize the character. His insistence on emotional truth saved the show, transforming it from a fading Western into a cultural phenomenon that ran for 14 years. Behind the scenes, Lorne was far from peaceful. He argued with Pernell Roberts, who thought he was too controlling, and later clashed with Michael Landon over creative direction. Yet his leadership kept the show grounded in values. He believed Bonanza should teach kindness before violence, and because of him, the series tackled racism, justice, and morality in ways few shows dared to. Off-screen, his generosity matched his strength, quietly donating portions of his salary to Canadian war orphans, never seeking attention for it. Even the IRS discovered it only years later. And when his personal life hit the tabloids after an affair in 1964, he faced it by writing an episode about family and forgiveness, turning his guilt into art. When Bonanza finally ended in 1973, Lorne admitted it should have stopped 6 years earlier. He said the magic had faded, especially after Dan Blocker's death in 1972, which left a hole the show could never fill. NBC canceled Bonanza without warning, robbing the cast of a real farewell. Still, Lorne carried that legacy forward. His calm, commanding presence later found new life in Battlestar Galactica, where he became Commander Adama, guiding humanity through space with the same moral gravity that once ruled the Ponderosa. His voice, once feared as the voice of doom, had become the voice of hope. Until his death in 1987, Lorne continued using his voice for good, creating Lorne Greene's New Wilderness, a nature series that ran for 5 years and educated millions about wildlife and the planet. He transformed from wartime narrator to environmental advocate, from a struggling immigrant's son to one of television's greatest father figures. Even after he passed, his spirit lived on in every character modeled after him. From Little House on the Prairie to Yellowstone, his legacy was never just about playing a role. It was about embodying integrity, strength, and compassion, the same values he fought to bring into every line he spoke. Lorne Greene's voice may have gone silent, but its echo still guides the stories we tell today, reminding us that leadership isn't about power. It's about heart, family, and courage in the face of loss. If you enjoyed this deep look into his life, don't forget to subscribe to Hollywood Bulletin and press the bell icon, so you never miss another hidden story from classic Hollywood.